them.
Entirely consent.
I love you.
Don't, I'm muting you now.
Wait, calm down.
I server muted her. I can't do this.
Wait.
Cameron C. Super Chatted $20. Roast Xylee LOL.
All right, fuck it. I'll do it.
You're taking one for the team.
I'm gonna take this for the team. I'm gonna take this one for the team. All right, so I'm gonna be like Zay. It's all love, Xylee. I promise you. But sometimes you do get in your fifis just a little bit. Like when people poke and jab at you, just leave the fucking stream. You're like, fuck this, I'm out. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just can't take the shit talk, Xylee. Sometimes you just need to fucking, you talk about you're being the cunt of the LCU. You're hired because you're a cunt. You're hired because you can take the jabs. And you fucking leave when people get on your ass too hard and you get on your fucking high horse and shit. 'Cause, yeah, you can't fuck with me. I'm Xylee. Gets real, bitch. Sometimes, Xylee, you gotta take the jabs. Okay, just take the fucking jabs, take the fucking L, and just handle it. All right, that's it.
Period.
Good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July. As I'm recording it on the 4th of July, first thing in the morning, let's get into the news. Or the I'm not gonna steal their stuff. No. So in today's little synopsis, I said the word wrong. I said the word so wrong. I said that word so wrong. My bad. You know what I'm trying to think of offhand. We're going to be focusing mostly on a bunch of different things that went on Thursday. First off, focusing on the whole Xylee thing. Yeah, Xylee does have a lot of times, right, when Xylee is confronted or people are face-to-face, Xylee has a tendency to get mad real fast and quit. And we've seen it a number of times. We've even seen her do that in her own show, whether it's with Billy, funny enough, or with Ken or Xylee or Tina or Becky or Keemstar or Boogie. We have seen Xylee rage quit a number of times. I can't even remember a time where she wasn't. Now, lately that hasn't been a problem, but anytime Xylee gets a monochrome of criticism, or even any type of like general pushback by a lot of people, she just either folds and crashes out and retaliate in really much more in a common-term manner. Like, if you don't know what I mean, a lot of commenters, when they're confronted face-to-face, they have a tendency to crash out, regardless if they have receipts or not, right? What's in their community, it is very important to have stuff like that, but sometimes, regardless, when they're confronted, they do kind of crash and burn really fast. But in this situation, I guess like Zay gave some criticism or said something about Xylee, which is like, I would say that Xylee and Zay have kind of like a mother-daughter type of relationship. If you've never watched enough of like them together, it's very clear. And I think Zay wasn't trying to be like an asshole or anything. I think she was just trying to give valid criticism towards to Xylee. That wasn't really meant to hurt her feelings or anything. Just meant to be like, oh, here you go. Here's some opinions about things. And obviously, Ken responding to that was like, you know, Xylee have a tendency to always crash out and blame others sometimes. I mean, Zay does the same thing. So I guess like birds of a feather flock together.
Tea over on Queens is we want to entertain you for 2 hours. We don't really go by a script or a docket or anything like that. We kind of cook together, me and Tina. That's what we do. Mike comes in and throws it in. So when the idea of you coming up there was several things. First of all, you were hot in the LCU. So everyone wanted you, right? Because you bring hate donors. That's great. That's awesome. Embrace that shit. Right? But also it would have given you so much exposure because you are on a show with so many more people than you have here. So yes, Mike had every right to say what he said when he said a small show. Granted, he flavored it up and did it his own way. That's Mike. Whatever.
Up there saying that I was on fentanyl and that I was a bad parent.
Who cares?
Who
cares?
Those are serious accusations
But
made
if
against
it's not
about a public fucking figure, dude.
Do you know
That's the same kind of shit that I'm getting in trouble for, and he's actually the one saying it.
Listen, sweet tea. You're not on fentanyl. You're not a bad parent, right? Those two things are not true, correct?
Exactly. So it's a fucking false
Okay.
allegation.
Or he's just fucking with you. Do you think we really think that Tina pimps her son out or sells pills to people? No, we just fuck with her. It's humor. Have you ever, I'm gonna ask you a serious question. Have you ever had a real job, like a job outside of the house?
Yes.
Honest question. Honest question.
Yes.
Okay.
I used
All
to
right.
work at a sandwich place.
Okay, all
for a
right.
long
Okay,
time.
cool. So you understand when you went to work, you'd work your shift and then you were off and it was done and you didn't worry about it until you went back to work the next day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And that's true, May. You're right. You're right, Mayway. I see that. But here in the LCU, something I think a lot of people forget is it's not just 2 hours, right? It's as much time as you can get in front of there because you want to grow. You want to grow. You never want to stop growing. You want to get your face out there. You want to get your name out there. And trust me, you've done a great job of that. Embrace that shit, girl. Ride it. But you got to get thicker skin. You've got to get thicker skin. Realize, number one, the LCU is the safest place I've ever been in. And I've been gaming for 20 fucking years on the internet. So I'm going to tell you right now, that is the safest Discord. Yes, I've played WoW. I've played WoW for, anyway, we'll talk later.
Wait,
We'll
you're
talk
playing
later.
WoW?
I know. I've played WoW for, that's where my name, yeah, anyway, yes, I'm a huge WoW player. Huge,
Okay.
my whole life. So anyway, well, past 15
The
years.
goblin girl with beans. Go running around.
Or Goblin Guild.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Looting.
yes. Oh, but
There you go.
continue.
Anyway,
continue.
so yeah, sorry, I saw it the other night and I meant to talk to you, but anyway, I'm old. I lost my train of thought. Sweet tea, everyone in the world is not here against you, but you got to get thicker skin, and you can't say, "Here's the problem," what you're doing, and I don't think.
Now here we are with some good old doll talking about the little drama that happened between Sweet Tea and Mike. If you're not aware, Mike invited Sweet Tea onto Queen to kind of just start a little beef with Sweet Tea and Tina. And Sweet Tea didn't appear, did not just show up, did not do anything, right? And Michael, whether you like him or not, Michael was kind of very mad at her for not. And you know, when you ask somebody to do you a favor to come on a show, you at least try to fulfill it, and if you can't, you at least try to text them beforehand, even if you're like, even as an hour beforehand, like, hey, I know I'm a little late, I probably won't be able to make it, and most people will be okay, right? Obviously, Sweet Tea didn't do that because Sweet Tea is low IQ sometimes and doesn't realize that a simple text can make or break a lot of relationships. Yeah, you'd be surprised that a simple text can make or break a relationship, especially on the internet. Now, Michael is very prone to getting angry just because of who he is, a lot of things. But the stuff he said to Sweet Tea, though I think his anger is validated, I think the thing he said to her was like, okay, that's a little too far. But then I remember, this is the lolcowlive. This is the whole lolcow universe. So going too far, it's part of the course. It's, you know, like it's basically second nature for them to threaten each other and other stuff. It's almost similar to the Dorps, right? Or any other communities of that nature, even. You'd be surprised, actually. Now, obviously, Gizzy, or whatever her name is, was explaining to Sweet Tea, like, well, you gotta understand his anger is validated, and if this was a more professional job, right? Professional boss would just really would fire you. Because most bosses, if you're late or just didn't show up, if you didn't show up without reason, they either don't care, or they will fire you, or they will reprimand you. I've had that happen before. Mostly reprimanded and just kind of didn't care. Other bosses would fire you, but a lot of bosses don't really do that. But especially on the internet. But again, you gotta learn to just, if you're not going to make it, you call. Even if you're busy, a simple text of, hey, I won't be able to make it on time. Sorry, we can do this another day. Or maybe I can pop up like the last 10 to 5 minutes. But no, you know, simple text.
Shit to Nightmare's face. Batgirl with the 199 said, I'm doing the pickle challenge tomorrow. Well, make sure you guys go support Batgirl over on Cafe, because I'm gonna literally be waking up just to watch Batgirl do the pickle challenge. I'm not even joking.
We're slightly better. We're slightly better. Let's just try not to move too fucking much. Oh God.
Also, that
Two
takes
nights
us
ago, Buff.
30 till our next shot. An even
Oh,
number.
it's 36 minutes, 10 seconds, 2 days ago on test, bro. That was that long. Oh my God. Why did I feel like it was the other day?
That was really sweet of you, Thomas Mason, because now I can just jump to that little timestamp. I guess if you want, let's just finish this clip up and then we'll go jump over to that.
To lie, I wouldn't fucking. I don't want to do that shit. I gotta give him props where props are due. The pickle drink looks fucking disgusting. Props to you, Buff. I couldn't handle that much pickle in my mouth. It for me, it looks gross as shit. And the balls, the pickle plus the balls is.
The balls was the worst part.
Can I just say, this? Imagine you were watching this stream with your eyes closed. This sounds extremely zesty. This one quote you did right here, Steak, where he's like, "I couldn't put this much pickle in my mouth. The pickle and the balls."
Not
was
with
crazy.
that attitude.
That was crazy work.
Not with that attitude, you can't, champ. Not with that fucking attitude.
Yo, he's funny for that, low-key.
Bro, today's gonna be such a good day, and I want to say a bunch of random shit and possibly get canceled. So I'm gonna get crossfaded with every shot. So this is gonna be great.
Oh,
this is gonna be fun. I want to see if I can talk.
And don't forget, he's got to read the Declaration of Independence, a little bit of it with every single shot he takes, and then I've got to do at least one math problem with every shot.
So with Nerd, not much what's happening besides their little coverage and obviously going for 4 hours, which holy moly. Now they did mention at one point in the show about wanting to cut the hours back rather than doing 4 hours, they wanted to do everybody doing 2 hours and leaving some gap because as they said that they overexpanded too fast without really focusing on the show they already developed because Keemstar was for a while focusing on creating a 24-hour network show, which, yeah, I mean that's fair. Keemstar has always been saying that he wanted to create a 24-hour network show since the creation of the universe, and now he has it. But the problem is that after the show do their usual 2 hours, and the shows that do get an extra 4 hours, they're kind of like, well, what do we do now? Now, in the case of like, let's say in the case of Cafe, kind of makes sense for going, like 4 hours in my honest opinion, because like they start so early at 8 o'clock and they end at 12, and they get a lot of the audience, and they already built the momentum for the rest of the universe. So for them, I'm perfectly fine if there's a 4-hour cafe, or at least a like if they're gonna do another like 2-hour show between 8 o'clock and 10, it should either be Cafe who start off the morning, or it should be Cafe right after, right? And then you obviously have Cafe, then you have Dolls, Nerds, and another show right between Nerds and Live, then Queen, then Rewind, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So eventually, when you get into Tech Talk, there's either a show between Cafe, or there's a show after Tech Talk, and then it goes into another show that goes into Dolls. Whatever replaces those shows in those hours, I don't even know. Well, eventually, maybe they'll figure it out.
I fucking feed you and house you. Why the fuck did you do that?
Okay. All right.
I don't give a fuck about kid behind the camera. Give a shit. Fuck this man shit.
$99.
Wait.
Smoothie Mike.
Okay. Hey. All right.
Jamar. Fuck.
Bigfoot super chatted $50. Before you go, looks like Mike can get some tomatoes and mayo from.
Now you know what chunks look like in a period at the end of a fight.
How it tastes. New Queens is beautiful.
Eat it.
Bigfoot, I can't tell you all of your support and help. You mean the world to me. Thank you for everything. Seriously.
How much hair you got, fatty?
All right. I owe 2 randoms for Frosty Fresh. I got you, Frosty. They're coming.
Mike's nasty.
Oh, Mike's nasty.
Who said that? That was Ken?
That was Ken.
Fuck you, Ken! I
can't with you. I can't with you right now. God, I love them. They just are killing it over there, y'all. I'm serious. Y'all are crazy if you aren't watching that show. They
Shut the
really,
fuck up! Stop promoting shit and eat
I'm
your fucking
sorry,
shit, old
but
lady.
they
I'm
do.
not. I shit my pants. I have to get up.
I gotta
No,
make
don't get up now.
excuse. Oh,
I
so now we
shit
have
my
to.
pants, you fucking swine.
I did too, and I got another hour to sit in it, you stupid fat fuck.
I can't be on here for 2 hours, Cena.
A random
I know,
pick.
I know, I get it.
It's a can. Okay, hang on. Another random pick. It's another can, but I could pick from back here. If y'all want me to pick from back here, I will. Here, tell me left or right. I know what this is. This
I think
is
we'll go
chili.
with the
I
right.
have no idea what this is. Okay. Oh, fuck. I don't know what this is either. I need someone to tell me. No, I'm not joking about this. Seriously, what the fuck? Potted meat with chicken and pork added. What is potted meat?
It's a fucking it's a pig intestines and their balls.
All right, so I picked that, and what's the can?
Another day, another queen, another usual slop for the slop content that I like watching because I got nothing better to do in my life. Not much really happening, queen, besides the usual throwing something in their face, which is a lot better than Supreme Queen sometimes. And I'm saying that with a lot of confidence because every time I watch Supreme Queens, I'm in pain. When I watch regular Queens, I'm just like, you know what? A little better sometimes. I really like the new host voice, so that's the reason why I stick around a lot of the time. And then I realized, oh yeah, no, they don't really do much. They don't really talk. I mean, they're getting into talking into different subjects. They're at least they're talking about like other content and other related channels, but besides that, it's not really much is happening. Besides like throwing stuff in your face and everything. I guess that's comedy. I guess that's content. I don't know anymore, but I really don't want to linger too long for something that not a lot is happening. I know Gidget did go up and explain. I talked to Sweet Tea, and obviously reported right back to Maiko and Tina, explained the situation, and obviously you could kind of tell how that went. Continue.
And stop pretty easily. Boogie, you're live on Lolcow Rewind.
I just want to back Billy up on this because when Billy's around bad people, they can't be bad. Me and Billy hung out quite a bit, and I didn't fake cancer during any of that.
I tried to give you real cancer. I was making you lick doorknobs and walk under power lines.
Oh, that's right. Plus, you gave me that really chalky drink. What was that? Asbestos?
That was asbestos mixed with barium.
Look who I have with me. Are you ready for this?
Holy shit! Is that Amanda Bynes?
Fuck you! That's so mean.
What are you guys in a log cabin?
It was nice because we were. Yeah. We literally we're vagrants right now. We couldn't get an Airbnb, so we just broke into this old barn. It's nice. It was nice. We went to Canada today, and for the first time, I was with someone fatter than me, so he got way more weird looks than I did.
Poor Rastov. He spends 40 hours flying to just come to America and be the fat one. America's full of fat people.
Yeah, it's great.
I have not seen like any fat Americans. It's been weird.
He told me today, he was like, I wish Billy was here just so I didn't have to be the fat one.
And Rewind did not have good old Xylee or Krylie, whatever you want to call her name. They did not have her today, so the show was actually quite bearable for once, where I didn't feel like, ripping my ears off or thinking to myself, damn, I could be watching something so much better besides watching a commentator cry and complain about things not going right or being the high moral person like usual. And it was just really more or less the Billy show. And we got to see Rastop actually live in person. He's a lot fatter than I thought, but we all knew that. We all knew how fat Rastop was. But besides that, I thought it was a pretty good stream for the most part because it wasn't really like, Xylee crying and complaining. Now, I don't really dislike Azalea completely, but it's like when she goes in her manic anger or when she gets in her feelings and so on, it becomes very, very unbearable. And you could tell that like Billy feels actually able to do a show and actually comfortable rather than have to walk on eggshell. Like some auto, like very similar to One Buff Weed and Zay Zudu, where they have to like walk around eggshells, or like Tina with Becky, right? It feels good because you don't have to worry about them just bursting into anger. Let's move on.
I'm not shaving my shit.
This
My
is
shit
the
looks
this
good.
is the most pronounced mustache I've ever had. Yo, should I keep the mustache? Look at my nasty
Would you call
fingernails.
that a mustache, or are you trolling the audience?
Shut
right
the
now?
fuck! You know what?
Are
know
you
what?
scamming?
Nah, bro.
You're gonna call that a fucking mustache?
You know what?
Okay, all right. So we're just taking the fucking camera away.
You know, I can do better than that. I can do better than that. You know what?
Well said. That human has no head. That's what he looks like. Well, if you're gonna black out your screen, could you at least play?
Could you
the
at least
fucking
play
video?
the fucking video? Shut the fuck up, Steak. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll play the video. I'll play the video for you since you're so demanding. Let's just play the video.
Called The Gritty Saga. Johnny and Mario would make TikToks and go live on Mario's account, getting millions of views in the process.
Millions?
The content mainly consisted of them going live at a public park, where Johnny would dance for the chat and regale them with tales of his life.
There's no way he's a real person, bro. There's just no way.
I just feel concerned sometimes when I look at him.
Let's just watch it together with our faces on screen. That way they can just.
Johnny Elbow is an interesting fella. I feel like not a lot of people really know about them, and the fact that the people at Aussie, I wouldn't be surprised Twiggy knew about it. At all, because Twiggy was the main person that got Mr. Bates and what's his name, Mr. Bates and Josh Block onto lolcowlive originally, from what I've been told. Now you may be asking, who is Johnny Elbow? Johnny Elbow is like a lolcow on TikTok, but there's a lot of lolcows on TikTok. Almost, probably a lot more than that were on YouTube at its highest, right? What I mean by that is like, there's always been a lot of lolcows on YouTube, but a lot of them are like lower end. It does take a lot of time to go out and find them and see where they're at and everything. But on the other case, on, let's say on TikTok, there's at least like what, 10, 20, 30 lolcows you'll find within the first hour or two. You'd be very surprised how many lolcows you can easily find. Hell, on X alone, there's multiple lolcows. But it's just a question of, is it entertaining? Is it content? How much you can milk out of it, right? And Johnny Elbow, though I would consider him a lolcow, not in the same reason, not the same thing compared to, let's say, like Nova Online. Well, because Johnny Elbow, right? I've been wanting to do a video on Johnny Elbow, but just never had, just because it wasn't really. It's difficult to talk about him because on one end he is mentally not there. I think he has Cuz disease or something. So you can tell that his development is on the slower end, if you know what I'm trying to refer to. But he did make an offhand comment about a young girl, so that's what makes him kind of a lolcow and a PDF. And talking about even that is very difficult because it's like, well, how do you even bring that up? Because on one hand, he's not really a lolcow, but on the other hand, he has said some stuff and he has clear mental problems. So it kind of puts him in a weird spot where he's like I wouldn't say a proto lolcow, but a sort of semi lolcow where he's not really a lolcow, but he's on the very edge, and he did take some time away from the internet. So there's that to think about, I guess. Let's move on.
I would be pissed, yeah. No, I would. No, you are right. I would be absolutely pissed. But you know what? It's July 4th, motherfuckers. Happy July 4th. I think it's July 4th for Americans now, but I was celebrating it early because obviously, you know, time difference and all that shit. But I'm just saying, you know, this thing right here.
If you want to celebrate July 4th, that's fine. Just tell me and I will cover it. I know it's a big deal for like Americans. You lived out there for a while, so I know you have a lot of American friends. Just tell me and I'll cover it. That's no worries. I can cover a fucking show. I can do a show on my own.
Bro, what? You don't want me here anymore?
No, but that's
I
not
can
it.
leave you. No, I can leave if you want me to.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I've shown up in my fucking wiener pajamas, mate. Like, at least you could do is like acknowledge that and say it's like a nice little pajama thing. It's my what, mate? It's my fucking, what do you call it? What do you call these things again? An Udi. It's my fucking wiener dog Udi, mate. Like, you don't respect that at least. Like, why are we arguing? We could fight. We could fight if you want. Like, that's fine. Like, we could do that. But mate, we've got shit going on.
What do you want to talk about? Because I'm covering the Lily Tino stuff. I'm assuming you haven't read any of the Darkid stuff.
I was watching the stream. I was watching the stream actually, and it was very beautifully done. I'm a bit confused.
So I didn't realize that Joss lived in America for a couple of years. Kind of makes sense the way he acts and his bit of mannerism. He is from England. I mean Albany. Right. We only say Albany in this channel, but he is from that area. He's from the Isles. I didn't really know that, and I think there is some tension rising between the both of them, between Jaws and Nightmare, right? Unlike, let's say, in the case of Ultra, where not TK, Keemstar forced them to work together. I think Jaws was somebody that Nightmare wanted, and I think Nightmare is lucky that he got to pick the hosts that he wanted, because most of the time, most hosts rarely get to pick the people they want to work with. So it is quite interesting to see that we are seeing good old Nightmare get to pick with somebody he wants, but it's also interesting to see him fight him just a little bit, right? Right, I can see some drama emerging from somebody that you picked that you thought would be good. And I'm not saying John's isn't good. I think John's is quite maybe on the same level as Ultra. Where I think John's and Ultra, when I mean on the same level, not exactly in the same way. Like, I think John's does good. Well, John's is good when okay, I'm really slow with it. John's is very good in the sense that he complements Nightmare. They're both from the same country. They both in the same time zone, so the energy is a lot more there. Whereas Ultra was more in America and was more or less trying to get a show. He bought his way into the LCU, but that made it entertaining because you got two people who were not like that and they come from different mindsets. So it's even funnier. And I wouldn't be surprised if Joss and Nightmare came from the same like living environment. But same thing with Ultra. So it is quite interesting. That's really mostly what happened. Till next time, God bless.